Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I guarantee you that you would not appreciate your neighbor coming and trying to figure out what's going on in your house and fix it according to his liking. I don't think you would like that a bit. And I know that the same neighbor who would like to do that in your household would not like you to go inside his house and strain things out, like tell them how to live and how many times they can beat the child or what they should do and what they cannot do. That's that family's business. Now, if you have a problem with that, you can call United Nations, which is the police, right? Even though United Nations doesn't really have the necessary means to coerce a country into having a good behavior. If you want evidence, look in the Middle East right now. They can't do anything. Not only because United States of America is doing all the time this thing over there, but hey, we love peace and democracy and love and all that. So Russia has a new opposition leader. Okay, well, it's sad that it has only one leader. I would have hoped that is not like United States of America. You have a two-party system like one. So I would hope that they have more opposition party leaders. But it seems like these guys are narrowing the Russian democracy to fit their garbage, which is one party with two names, fed by the same parents, which is, I always give you this analogy with two identical twins, one with a goatee or a mustache, however you prefer. They're identical. They act the same way, and they are fed by the same parents the same way. Those are the donors, by the way. So, interestingly enough, they want to, they stick their nose in Russia's business, Russia's internal affairs, which is Navalny and all that. That's Russia's internal affairs. But somehow the United States of America thinks that it's entitled to go and tell those guys what to do in their country. So now they, I think, use, not the United States of America, the guys behind that, those interests that already grabbed the United States of America by the balls about 100 years ago, from the 20s, little by little, the mass media, the intelligentsia, the colleges, the politics, and then so on. So we have here Yulia Navalnaya, the widow of Alexei Navalny, who was a politician convicted of embezzlement and then violating his probation. I mean parole, and then he died at 47. Sad as it is, we don't know the whole story, obviously, because it's very interesting how the United States of America is so interested in Navalny per se, but they would not say anything about, I don't know, Gonzalo Lira, for instance, who definitely was beaten, definitely. Well, according to his father. Okay, so that's the source. He died in the Ukrainian prison. Do you hear anything about it? Do you hear anything about it? No. Hey, Gonzalo Lira was a US citizen. Alexei Navalny and Yulia Navalnaya. Too much interest to tell me that these guys are not on the payroll of some interests foreign to Russia and that don't want Russia to have its own course, but somehow get involved and change things into their own, I don't know, being, their own way. So what's going on here? We find out that Yulia Navalnaya, who's grieving since last Friday, she's put everywhere on the media and she met Biden and all that. Now she is the appointed newest opposition leader. I know that leaders rise up or rise among their peer. They're not appointed, because if you have the power to appoint, he's not a leader, you are the leader. And leaders do not get appointed, they just get it, they grab it. So the power is not handed to them by someone else, because that means they're not leaders. Those are the leaders who hand you the power and how do you call it, the name attached to your whatever job you're doing. So they can tell us that Yulia Navalnaya, right here, is the newest opposition leader. For me, it sounds like she's the new person who will be used by the same terrible foreign interests that work against Russia. That's how I interpret it. And I think I have the right to interpret things however I want, as bad as they may be. Now, Yulia Navalnaya once avoided the limelight. So she avoided it, but now she's gonna change from that to that. You know, like the, how do you call it, the butterflies. Just from this, once, they're butterflies. I remember someone who said, you can't make out of 100 cowards one courageous or brave individual or something like that. So if you were running away from being exposed to light, being exposed to aggression, verbal aggression, criticism, lights left and right, you're not gonna just change at 40 some just like this. But your handlers will tailor your image in such a way that you would appear as being someone who was just, you didn't want to fuck them up. Now you do, and everybody back off. Well, you have your own life. I have my own life. We have our own experiences. Have you met people like this? And if you say yes, how many? And what a coincidence. This is what I think about all this, sorry for Navalnaya, circus. She's going to be used, and she's going to get in trouble if she shows up in Russia. And these guys are going to use her daughter further. Now that's a crime. That's horrible. That's what I predict. Remember, this is a Russian internal affair. As those guys did not come to say anything about, I don't know, what's his name, Epstein, Trumpstein, and all these guys. They didn't come and say, hey, wait a minute, you got too many of this kind in your fucking government. What's going on here? Who's in charge? Are the American people or are these guys in charge? They didn't say that. They could. It's obvious. You have them. They're in the forefront. They're not shy at all. We see it. Can we do something? No. Why? But we have Yulia being the new leader. Here she is. Her husband, as they say, is not cold yet, and she's over there making statements with her red nails. That right now they picked a different picture. The other one was like this. Anyway, can you believe this? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. London. Yulia Navalnaya used to avoid the cameras, staying in the background while her husband rose to become Russia's most prominent opposition figure and President Vladimir Putin's greatest foe. That's a lie. That's a lie. I made a video today, and you're free to go. I allow you to go on Wikipedia and check Alexei Navalny's percentages. Do you know what he ran for? Do you know how many people voted for him? Percentages? Numbers? And he can't be Putin's foe. I said this already 1,000 times. Because Putin rigs the elections. Right? So if he rigs the election, it doesn't matter how people vote. So he should just give us 2 squirts of piss on this one. Right? Now, Navalny, the only percentages, the highest percentages that he's got in Russia was when he ran for a mayorship, to be the mayor of Moscow. He's got 27% of the mayorship. 27. Very good. Well, how many percent did Putin get in his rigged elections? And if they're not rigged, then he's got what? 80 and 60 and 70 from the whole Russia, not Moscow. But if he rigs them, then why should Putin be afraid of Navalny? Doesn't make sense in my world, but hey, maybe I'm an idiot, which I don't think so. I think they are just crooks and assholes, and possibly some of them, not with good intentions for the Russian people. So here it is. She later solemnly vowed, "I will continue the work of Alexei Navalny." Okay, you do that. It's fine. It's your life. You can do whatever you want with that. But I also have the right to look at it and have my own assessments of what's going on. And they have a child. After she is going to be, then they're going to have the child saying, "I will continue the work of Alexei and Yulia Navalny." Will she say that? I mean, how terrible that is. I think these guys were just used. But he agreed to that. I don't think he was blackmailed. But that's my assessment. That's what I think. Why? Too many, I don't want to say coincidences. And if people can have gut feelings, I can have gut feelings too. And if people can make statements, certain statements like Putin killed Navalny, Putin ordered Navalny's death, then I think I'm entitled to the same thing, like say certain things with no evidence. Why not? Or I can do like, I don't know, New York Times or CNN or any other media outlet when they say, sources familiar with the matter told me. Why can't I use that argument? Or confidential sources, I can't disclose their names. Why can't I? Or anonymous, I received this anonymously, this piece of information. Why can't I use it by CNN or New York Times or Washington Post or Wall Street Journal, the outlets that really make the policy in this country? Why can they, but I can't? I'm not a liar. They are. They lied. I didn't lie. I mean, never lied here. Of course, in my life, I lied. When I was a kid, when I did it. But you know what I mean? I have more, how do you call it, credibility that those guys put together. But somehow they can use this kind of, like the bank. Like the banks, if they have in the bank $1 in their coffer, they can lend $10. If I have $1 in my nail, on my nail, I can lend $1. Why is that? Why are they trustworthy and we are not? That's how it is. If a bank has $1, they can lend 10 times that amount. And then if it's a rush to the bank, they say, sorry, you know what's going to happen? Your money was insured up to, let's say, $150,000. And you know who pays that? The insurances and the government. And we're out. Bye-bye. See you never. Up till then, we got big money and salaries. But we can't back it up. Why can they do it, but we can't? Haven't we agreed to that? Yes, we agreed. Why? Why would we agree to that? To have a society function, we can function without banks. The banks cannot function without humans and businesses. So who is the primordial, who has more importance? The banks or we have? We. But we go over there like weasels to ask for money from a bank. Why? Well, it's you don't have money. It's your fault, really. Go and buy something as the States of America without having credit. Anyway, my friends, here it is. I don't even want to say I hope anything for these guys, because I think at one point, beyond one point, it's not the guys are used. The guys are really something else. Because you consciously know that you're doing the bid, you do the job of some nasty motherfuckers. They want to destroy your country, your nation. I don't think that both, or this, I don't know. I have the right to have this kind of assessments, don't I? But my assessment is that I don't really think that, oh my God, we just want to change over there and we're for prosperity of the Russian people, and outside forces try to bring you in. Why are so concerned the outside forces with the welfare of the Russian people over there? Why? Because they fucking have an interest that is not necessary, doesn't overlap with the interest of the Russian people. Why do you think these guys are pushed forward? Because this big interest behind them wants what's good for the Russians? Really, I mean, guy from across the, 3 continents over there wants what's good for your family, but not, you can't straighten things out in your family? My friends, let's go to the basics. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.